We have this lifetime where you and I, we can make a decision, say, I am going to choose the way that Jesus calls me to live. I am going to turn away from my sin. I'm going to turn away from my guilt, from my rebellion. I'm going to turn to Jesus. Because that is how that chasm is crossed. In Hebrews 2:14-17, it says this: since the children have flesh and blood, he too shared in their humanity, so that by his death he might break the power of him who holds the power of death, that is the devil, and free those who all their lives were held in slavery by their fear of death. For surely it is not angels he helps, but Abraham's descendants. For this reason he had to be made like them, fully human in every way, in order that he might become a merciful and faithful high priest in service to God, and that he might make atonement for the sins of the people. By Jesus going to the cross, he made atonement for our sins so that we could cross that chasm and be in relationship with God again and come to this place of Abraham's bosom. This is good news, but it also comes with a bit of pressure. I think it comes with a bit of weight that you and I need to make this decision for ourselves to choose to follow Jesus in our lives, to choose to live his way and not our way. And it is through choosing to follow him and living a life that follows his ways that we are saved. We can't save ourselves. He paid the price. He saved us. But we need to say yes. We need to decide to live for him. It comes with a weight, right? I wish I could make that decision for everyone. I wish I could be like, I've decided we're all doing this, okay, God? But it's an individual decision, a decision that I had to make for myself, that you have to make for yourself. And you know what? It's not a decision you make once, I don't think. I think it's a daily decision to choose to follow Jesus. Now, what happens if we don't cross the chasm? I'm going to read to you from Revelation. Revelation is a very interesting book of the Bible. I was talking about Genesis, which is the very first book of the Bible before. Revelation is the very last book of the Bible. Now, Revelation was a vision given to a man called John. We don't know which John it is precisely. Some people think it was John, one of Jesus' disciples. Others think it was John, who was a member of one of the early churches. But either way, this man called John he's a prisoner in a Roman prison camp, which is on the island of Patmos, and he receives a vision. So he sees something. This is important to understanding Revelation a little bit. He sees something that God tells him to write down and as a letter and send to the 7 churches in a Roman province of Asia Minor. Now, if I was to ask you to go outside and look around, and then come inside and write down a description of what you saw when you went outside, and then give it to someone who's never seen Shoreditch before, you'd have to try and creatively write in a way that would help them understand. You would have to use imagery and descriptions. And if anyone's ever read Lord of the Rings, J.R. Tolkien spends 3 pages of the book describing a tree. It's hard to describe something that you've seen visibly to people who've never seen it. Revelation is like that. Basically, it's a vision that John had from God. There's a lot of imagery in it. It's very hard to understand, but he's trying to describe something. He's using language that people would have understood then, but maybe we miss now. That's all just to say that Revelation's complicated. And that's why. It's a very complicated book. But at the end of Revelation, we get a picture of what happens after death, the final judgment. So I'm going to read Revelation 11 to 15 first. This is what it says. It says, "Then I saw a great white throne, and him who was seated on it. The earth and the heavens fled from his presence, and there was no place for them. And I saw the dead, great and small, standing before the throne, and books were opened, and another book was opened, which was the book of life. And the dead were judged according to what they had done, as recorded in the books. The sea gave up the dead that were in them, and the death and Hades gave up the dead that were in them, and each person was judged according to what they had done. Then death and Hades were thrown into the lake of fire. The lake of fire is the second death. Anyone whose name was not found written in the book of life was thrown into the lake of fire."